Welcome back to my Lobotomy Corporation bedtime story reading. This is Hitori, and I'll be helping you fall asleep with some ambient audio and awesome OST from our favorite game as I learn more about Lobotomy Corporation's abnormalities. In the last video, we read about The Little Prince. This time, it will be Melting Love. This is now the 67th abnormality in Lob Corp reading. Check the entire playlist on the card on the upper right of this video. Let's begin. Melting Love D-03-109 is an abnormality taking the form of a pink slime creature resembling a female humanoid. Its irises are dull white with dark red sclera. The slime on its head resembles hair that flows down into a puddle, the same of which with its lower body. A heart is faintly visible within the center of the chest. Abilities. When an agent first performs a work other than repression on Melting Love, it will give the agent a blessing, a slime heart appearing above the agent in question. Blessed agent, otherwise referred to as D-03-09-1. The blessing will remain on the agent until the end of the day. Only one blessing can exist at any given time. Blessed agents will recover 30 SP every 15 seconds. Have their success rate when working on Melting Love increased by 10%, and will recover 25 to 35 SP after completing a work with it. Thus, agents will create a small pink explosion every 10 seconds, spreading several slimy particles around them. When an explosion occurs, other agents and clerks in the same room have a 25% chance of becoming infected. Infected employees, otherwise referred to as D-03-109-2, gaining small traces of slime on their cheeks. The explosions will be paused for 30 seconds if the blessed agent generates 24 or more PE boxes during an insight work. Contrary to the latter part of Guideline 7, obtaining fewer than 24 PE boxes during an insight work has no effect. Infected employees will recover 10 SP every 5 seconds and will also create pink explosions every 10 seconds, identically to the blessed agent. After 50 to 60 seconds, infected employees' faces will turn pink. After another 50 to 60 seconds, they will be eaten by slime from below and turned into a He-class slime entity. These possesses 20 movement speed and low HP at 200, and deal moderate 6 to 12 black damage. Melting Love will breach when its Qliphos counter reaches 0. Its Qliphos counter can be changed in the following ways. Decrease by 1 upon obtaining a bad or normal work result. Decrease by 1 if the blessed employee does repression work. Decrease to 0 if blessed employee dies. decreased to zero if half of the currently alive employees in the facility, contrary to Guideline 5, are infected while the blessed employee is still alive. When breaching, Melting Love's appearance will change to that of a hunched creature covered in pink slime. In this form, it has extremely long arms and has visible bones floating within it. When Melting Love breaches, all infected employees who have not transformed, as well as the blessed employee, if it is still alive, will transform immediately. If the employee with the blessing is alive and Melting Love escapes, the blessed employee will be eaten. Ice slime will under them and turn into a WoW class slime minion. It possesses an average amount of HP at 800 and is slightly larger than the He class slimes. It is also slightly faster and deals roughly double the amount of black damage, around 12 to 20. The slime heart is still present above the slime minion, and it will follow Melting Love. Melting Love possesses 1500 HP and 25 movement speed. Melting Love possesses a close-range slam attack that deals 15 to 25 black damage. It will occasionally fire slime from its mouth when a target is in the same area, dealing high 25 to 45 black damage. Employees who are hit by the slime projectile will have a pink glowing circle around them, taking 2 to 3 black damage every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. If the WoW class slime dies while Melting Love is breaching, Melting Love will fully recover its HP and enter an enraged state, dealing extra damage with its attacks. Slime will deal 20 to 32 black damage, and slime projectiles will deal 30 to 60 black damage. Slime projectiles' damage over time attack does not increase in damage. Employees killed by Melting Love will be turned into the He class slimes. When Melting Love's HP decreases below 60%, all minor slimes will stop moving, as Melting Love will reach out its arm to drain 1 of its HP, healing for 200 HP after 15 to 20 seconds. Melting Love is not immune to damage during this process. Story. This abnormality was created with the ideas provided by Tumblebug backer Mo. A melting slime with a resemblance to humans when inspected closely. Its containment unit is covered in its mucous secretions. Today, I'd like to talk about the recent incident everyone has heard of. That's right, that dreadful incident when an army of slimes took over a facility for redacted minutes. There were several containers left in the redacted lab, which were not processed properly during the experiment related to redacted. If you know about the redacted experiment, you would already know that the contents of those containers are merely useless leftovers that only prove the experiment has failed. The researchers felt that there was no need to dispose of them. It was obvious that one newbie to the research team had no idea what was inside those containers. Employee Marie found the containers of pink slime and felt that they could pose a threat. It is assumed that she thoroughly concealed and kept them in redacted status. If my assumption is correct, the melting object in those containers was probably redacted of redacted. I became sure of this when I read the passage that describes its appearance as that of an adolescent human. I don't know if it was fortunate for us or not, but its memories, including those of the experiments, were completely gone. It could barely speak a word or two. It was also mentally unstable. It became extremely nervous whenever Marie was not present. A brother. Marie had a brother whom she lost during her childhood. It all started when she felt an attachment to the childlike pink slime that followed her around. Marie showed an unprecedented level of decrease in her mental corruption. Indeed, it was extremely unusual. Of course, it was certain that the abnormalities somehow affected her in a positive way. But that was the end of the benefits. Her colleagues started noticing her odd behaviors. I tried to ask her about them. It was the right thing to do. They were educated about the potential implications of a steep decrease in mental corruption levels, and understood that a person disappearing every single break time is a dangerous sign. However, Marie didn't say a word to them and ended up detained in the counseling room until she opened up. Meanwhile, a slimy creature that had forgotten everything instinctively remembered one thing. It had to get out of the facility no matter what. This abnormality once again felt extremely nervous when Marie didn't show up on time. It thought that she was in danger. It was then that it decided to escape with her. A rare bond had formed between the two. They cared about each other from the bottoms of their hearts. Confined within the counseling room, Marie eventually gave up her right to remain silent and began to reveal what she had done. How she kept the contents inside the container, and how she was able to form a bond with it. However, she couldn't finish her words. This was because she melted in the blink of an eye. Moments after signs of an anomaly showed up on her skin. Yes, she quite literally melted in her entirety. And that wasn't the end of it. The slime that once was Marie a few seconds ago began to move. It wasn't a difficult task for a fluid creature to slide under the door of the counseling room. Did it have a speck of human rationality? No. Just like a newborn duckling blindly follows its mother, it simply moved towards the abnormality. And it wasn't just Marie that turned to slime. Every single employee who had made contact with her in some way began to melt too. Those who were questioning her, who shared a meal with her, who had worked together. Soon, this army of slime began to attack other employees, all for Mother Slime, the abnormality they loved. Yes, out of love, and love alone, they killed. And, my dear employees, I do hope you all don't forget to put on the gas mask we distributed to you before we entered, did you? I do hope that no one took it off out of boredom or stuffiness. I must inform you all that some of you are already infected by the slime I told you about. We did not give gas masks to some of you, and we did say that it was because we were out of stock. Though, to be truthful, it was just so we could distinguish between those who were infected and those who were not. You may feel fine now, but before an hour passes, your flesh and bones will start to melt, and your mind will disintegrate into pitch black nothingness. Then you will begin to wreak havoc on the facility. You will probably, as your first action in your new form, jump at the employees sitting right next to you, all for the mess of slime you so adore. Yes, I know, it's unbelievable. You feel so alive and clear now. Just how on earth could you melt down into slime? And yet you will. It's not your fault, of course. Someone among you made contact with a slime abnormality, and you were just the unlucky sap who happened to be around that person. It's meaningless now to determine patient zero. I doubt they had any idea how catastrophic the results of their actions would be. They did it out of pure affection after all. Finally, those uninfected who are wearing masks, please ensure you pay extra attention to your hygiene and immediately report when you see an employee acting out of the ordinary. You'll simply be infected as well if you attempt to help them. Now on your desks, there will be 9mm pistols, all perfectly locked and loaded. What you must do now should be clear. We will not open the doors until the situation is taken care of. If you think this is too cruel, allow me to remind you that this is your job. I hope to see you again once everything has been handled. Trivia. This abnormality is based on the idea of the tumblebug backer mole. When I first saw this abnormality, all I could say was, smash. Now if you have tips or interesting details about this abnormality, please comment about it down below. If you like, you can also catch my stream on Twitch and here on YouTube so that you can assist me if you're a veteran in the game. If you want more Project Moon content from me, please don't hesitate to like the video. You can also support me further with my Patreon. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I'd like to thank my current Patreon supporters that are shown on the screen, as well as my Twitch subscribers. I want to always let you know that I appreciate everything you do for me. Truly. This thanks is also extended to you who's currently watching. Anyway, until next time, I hope you rest easy.